Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live reading session. Just a moment so I can um, switch this. There we go. I think that's it. So yes, hello, everybody. Welcome. We're going to be doing some live sessions today. They're going to be, there is 10-minute readings for $25. Or if you have a question that you would like to ask me, it is $20. Now, we are noticing here that already some of you have jumped on and have purchased some readings, and I have actually jotted your information down. So I will go over those in just a quick moment once I get some information sorted in front of me. Okay, yes, there we go. So how are we doing? How are we doing today, everyone? Welcome. And I also want to say, Melanina, happy birthday to you. It is your birthday today. The last day of Cancer season, I'm pretty sure then is your sun at 29 degrees. We will look at your chart, of course. So you were born today. Everybody wish Melanina, my apologies, a happy birthday. So you were born on the 21st of July, 1995 at 9:48 p.m. in Versen, Germany. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I'm not from Germany, so I'm not familiar with the pronunciation. And then we also have, so we have a couple of people. So this is a first come, first serve, and there will be a cutoff period. We're going to try and aim to do 8 readings today. So when we get to number 8, that will be us fully booked for this session. But not to worry, folks, because we're going to come on next week. Okay, next Friday I'll be back. So if you miss it today, there will be more next week. So the second reading we have here, I do sincerely apologize in terms of my pronunciation again. Tallulah. So you were born on the 27th of January, 1986 at 5:15 a.m. Mount Vernon, New York. And then, I'm just going to jot down that county because the New York section, let me tell you guys, there's a lot of county stuff going on. So you want to know general themes. General themes are headed for you. Themes ahead. All right, I'll note that. Tallulah, Melanina. And then we have Scotty. Hello, Scotty. We have for you, Scotty, the 23rd of January. We've got 2 Aquarians in the chat. Woo! I'm just saying that because I'm an Aquarius. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. 1994, 23rd January. Scott is, there we go, there's your name. And then Body, Canada. Okay, 8 p.m. exactly. I've got you there. Perfect. You're from, obviously I want to say hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope you're all doing well. And room for another, Derek? Yes, we got room for another. We're going up to 8. So Melanina is going to be first. And then we're going to go to Tallulah and then Scott. And then also, I just want to say hello to everybody else. Amber, hi. You made it on time for once. Welcome. I hope you're doing good. Michelle, hello. Ethne, I'm sorry, again, pronunciation, my mistake if that's wrong. But you said that you're from near Armagh. Interesting, yeah. I'm from Belfast. And yes, good. I'm so glad people are wishing Melanina a happy birthday. Good to see. Support each other. And then Derek, you split. Yeah. A lot of people do the 99 and then, or the 20 and then the other 5. So yeah, because the information So I'll jot you down, Derek. You were born on the 18th of August. We have a Leo. Your birthday is coming up. Happy birthday to you. It's your season from tomorrow, 3:08 p.m. and Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. And thank you very much for that. And Amber, there is room. It is $25 for a 10-minute reading today. Now, I do just want to mention with this, of course, that these readings are only 10 minutes, and I do have other services. I have full chart readings, 45-minute long ones, hour-long ones, solar returns, Saturn returns. You can go to my website, hannahselsewhere.com. But with that, let's start entering the information, and then I'll keep checking back to see if anybody else has booked in. And then I will make sure to edit the title this time, because the last time it did not work on me. Okay. It didn't work. I was like, seriously. Okay. So Melanina, 21st of July, 1995. And go here. Other. You can clearly see that I like to walk through everything. I just like to say things out loud because it reminds me. That is actually what I did whenever I took driving lessons. And then when I went to do my driving test, I talked everything out loud. And that really helped me focus. 21st of July, 1995, 9:48. Okay, we have another. I do want to make sure to keep up with this. It's sort of good to get everybody in first, and then I know I have everything, and then we'll just go. So Lori, I just want to say as well, thank you all so much for booking these readings with me today. I really enjoy doing these. They can be quite fun, they're just sort of like quick fire readings. But again, you want more detail, you can go to my website, hannahselsewhere.com. New York, Brooklyn, New York. Is that the county? Because is there like a county with that, or is Brooklyn the county? I'm just asking, Lori, because every time I put in New York, there's just so many counties, and I'm like, which one? But yeah, 1:55 p.m. and you're a Taurus. Right. So Melanina, got your information put in. 21st of July, 1995, 9:48 p.m. First in Germany. And yeah, okay, great. Go here, 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 here. Kings. Okay, Kings. Thank you so much. Kings County. Okay, lovely. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead then with Melanina's, if nobody else is booked in yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 so far. Okay. So let's bring this up and go here. And then I'm going to share my screen. It is $25 for a 10-minute reading, Amber, and it is $20 for a question if you have a question. I think you can change the type of currency that you use. I think. Okay, I'll go here. you want, actually, hold on, just we'll make it smaller again. Sure. Okay, Melanina, this is your chart that we're going to be reading from. And I'm just going to put the timer on then. So we have a 10-minute timer. Right, Melanina, let's do this. Okay, so what we're noticing here for you, Melanina, is you have this Cancer stellium. So you are Cancerian, your sun is there, you've also got Mercury and Venus there. So with this Cancer stellium, I would say that you are someone who is pretty family orientated. I think that you can be somewhat of a caregiver, especially when it comes to your work, your occupation, when it comes to the services that you provide. I think also there's a great deal of nurturing that goes into the work that you do. I think that it matters as well to you that your emotions sort of align with work. And what I mean by this is finding in an occupation, finding a role where you feel secure. And I mean this in terms of emotionally secure, emotionally fulfilled. And you may actually be really well liked within the workplace. I mean, with Venus there, this can suggest that you are well liked for being supportive, for being caring, but then also being well liked for the advice that you bring, for the advice that you share. Of course, Venus is also conjunct Mercury there. You could be seen as even quite like as this figure of wisdom, or as someone who is highly empathetic, or you sort of know how to sort of support other people's needs, so your employees' needs, your employers, co-workers. So yeah, you could be seen as quite a significant figure within work. And even with the sun being there, I think there's a great deal of purpose here with respect to your services, with respect even to your health. That's another thing with the sixth house, it's tied to health. I think that you place a lot of focus upon your health, even thinking about self-care, making sure that you have enough time to properly regulate your emotions or to process your emotions. Now, the thing about this, of course, is so there are these oppositions happening to Uranus retrograde and Neptune retrograde in the 12th house, especially with the sun there. The sun is at 28 degrees, and then Uranus is there also at 28 degrees. So they're opposite exactly. So I would actually say that what often comes up for you is just overwhelm, or feeling like you're continuously having to manage other people's emotions and their needs. But then it could also be that there are challenges to do with how you can support yourself, and maybe also becoming irritated, just becoming really irritated by your coworkers, or just irritated even when it comes to your routines and your daily habits. Maybe things can fluctuate quite a bit for you when it comes to your routines and habits because of your moods, or because of unexpected situations, or perhaps because there's just so much going on, and even internally for you. I would say that there's a lot that you actually keep in, there's a lot that you bottle up. And I think even when you're alone, a lot of your emotions come pouring out, especially with Neptune there. I think that you can be a pretty private person. I think it takes a lot for you to really come out of your shell, to open up to other people. And I think a lot of it has to do with trust. A lot of it has to do with feeling like other people truly care. And, they're not just saying it for the sake of saying it. They mean it, right? You need to know that people mean it, and that they show it through their actions as well. And the thing also with this, Melanina, is that the moon is making this trine to Neptune there, and you have the moon in Taurus. So the moon being here, of course, the moon is exalted in Taurus, but to me, it suggests that there is intention. There is a great deal of intention when it comes to your emotional needs. There is a great deal of intention when it comes to the alone time that you spend. I think that it can get to a point where it's like, right, I actually do need to think about myself here. I need to spend time with my family, or I need to spend time alone, or I need to retreat for a little while. So there's that. And then also, I think that your comforts are very important to you. I think that you love what is familiar. Okay, you have the sun in Cancer, you've got the moon in Taurus. You love what is familiar. You need to feel like there is security in your life, and also just feeling inner security as well. Though at the same time, I will say that the South Node is actually in Taurus there, and then the North Node is in Scorpio. So a big part of uh, your nodal journey, so to speak, is that of transformation, is that of actually pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, especially when it comes to your professional life, when it comes to your reputation, your achievements. So thinking about the things that you would like to accomplish and achieve, I think that there's a big part of this where it's like, okay, it is time to embrace the change. It is time to challenge yourself. It is time to overcome your fears, or to confront and face your fears. And with the South Node even being in Taurus, this could look like you really remaining in the comfort zone, right? Where it's like, no, 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 I'm not going to go out there into the big bad world. Or like, yeah, I'm just going to cling on to this. I'm going to cling to my valuables. I'm going to cling to my possessions. I'm not going to budge. Okay. That's something maybe that the North Node in Taurus has really triggered for you, like a lot, since January 2022, right up until, well, recently. Of course, the nodes have shifted into Aries and Libra recently. So yeah, I think during that period, you have been forced to perhaps look at these parts of yourself that cling, that don't want to embrace a change, resisting the change, resisting the transformation. But again, these renewals, these death and rebirth moments tied to Scorpio are really tied to your life purpose, your mission, the things that you really want to accomplish and achieve. Even with Pluto being there in Scorpio, and Scorpio there in the 10th house, I think that this can suggest you stepping into your power, you becoming this type of authority within your profession, and having the courage to overcome. Even Pluto there is making that trine to the Cancerian energy, and Cancerian energy, my goodness, Cancers, you can be so tenacious, you can be so determined and driven and dedicated. You're leaders, right? You're cardinal signs. So, yeah. And then I just want to say as well for you, Melanina, I know we only have so much time, but the cardinal grand cross, right? So, there is a cardinal grand cross happening at 29 degrees between the cardinal signs. So, this is happening right on your sun. It's even happening on Uranus there. Um, so I just feel like this time period for you right now is such it plays such a significant role, right? Right, there is a significant change, I think, when it comes to your health, your services, when it comes to resting, relaxation, when it comes to the things that you hide from other people. Kind of going back to that privacy, security, hidden stuff that I was talking about earlier. Though I also want to mention is you have an Aquarius rising. Okay, so this rising sign is like, I am independent. Okay, I march to the beat of my own drum, and I do what I'm going to do. and I feel like for you there is a sense of uniqueness, doing things your way, and then also I just think with all that Cancer energy, and even with Saturn, one of your chart rulers being in Pisces, and then there's the trine to the Cancer energy, and then that mixed with the Aquarius energy. There's just so much here to do with togetherness and community and belonging and finding your tribe and finding the people who get you, And yeah, I just think that you have just this warm spirit about you. I think you have such an emotional intelligence. And maybe you don't necessarily see this, of course, because your Saturn is in Pisces. So it can maybe suggest some type of restriction or uncomfortability, or like a blockage, right? Blockages to do with Saturn. But your Saturn return, right, which you're going through, which is going to be stronger and stronger over the next couple of years, but that your Saturn return is going to open you up in so many ways with respect to your emotions, and actually showcasing them or utilizing them in a way where you feel like, yeah, I'm stronger here. And then the last thing I perhaps want to look at with this is you do have your Mars in Libra, and then that is making a trine to the ascendant. So yeah, you can be quite a relationship leader. You can move other people in very subtle ways, get them to do what you want without necessarily having to be super like direct about it. And also, I think there's a likability to you, and so people are going to be more willing to do things for you because they like you. Okay, so that the timer. Let me just go back over here. Has anybody else booked? Oh no. Let's see. So that was you, Melanina. Okay, that's good. I'm like, please, because I only have so much time today. So that's you, Melanina. I really, really hope that you found it to be helpful. So you said, let me just come out of here, stop sharing screen. You're spot on with everything. Currently training to become a free birth midwife. And also a hospice nurse in August, taking a bath while listening to you. Oh my gosh, yeah, there's connections to the Cancerian energy in the 6th house. Oh, I love it. And also, I just want to say all the best for training. That's really exciting. And I want to wish you a big happy birthday, Melanina. Everybody say happy birthday to Melanina. Okay, next we have Tallulah. Let's edit. 27th of January 1986. Other 5:15 a.m. Let's look at the USA, and that is Mount Vernon, county, New York. Keep going. There's a lot of places called Mount Vernon in the USA. Why are there so many? Why are there so many? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Mount Vernon, New York is Sullivan County. Okay. Sullivan County. 26th of January, 1986, 5:15. All right. Now, you want to know some themes ahead. Okay. So what we're going to do for you at Tallulah, we're going to actually pull up your transits chart, okay? Because you want to know about themes ahead, right? So do that. Right, Nian, I just want to say that these readings are 10 minutes long, and yeah, used to confuse you as well. Why are there so many? Where are you from? Mount Vernon? Okay, which one? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so these are 10 minutes long, and they're quite quick, instant. But if you want a full reading from myself, you can go to my website, hannahselsewhere.com. Okay. All right, sure. Share my screen. Go back here. Lovely. All right. Okay, so 10 minutes. 10 minutes for you, Tallulah. let's go. Okay, so themes ahead for you. Right, first thing that is jumping out to me is the fact that Venus is going to turn retrograde from tomorrow, okay, the 22nd of July until the 3rd of September. And this means that this retrograde is going to conjunct your moon, okay? It's actually going to conjunct your moon, I would say, like a week or maybe over um into the retrograde. And so I think for you, Tallulah, there will certainly be a revisiting of your emotional needs, especially your emotional needs with respect to intimacy, romance. And I mean romance in a very committed, trusting, faithful way. I think that this is about you really reflecting upon how it is that you express yourself with respect to intimacy and vulnerability as well. But then I even think the fact that you have the moon in Leo in the 8th house, this to me suggests that your emotions, okay, intense, intense. Now, at the same time, this is where we got to keep in mind this opposition. So you are an Aquarius, you have an Aquarius stellium, and Jupiter is making an exact opposition to the moon. So there's something here about just how freedom orientated you are, how much you value your freedom, how much you value your space. And I would also say that when it comes to your earning potential, your finances, your resources, you're someone who thinks outside of the box. I don't really see this as you living a conventional lifestyle or following a more traditional path when it comes to how you earn money, even thinking about how you spend money. Even Jupiter there in the second house can suggest overspending. Okay, it could be that you can be somewhat, is reckless the right word? And reckless perhaps, or perhaps just not necessarily thinking too much. There's sort of like a detachment, so to speak. So yeah, you could basically overspend or not really pay attention to how much you are spending. And so Venus here, right? Venus, like I said, it's going to be retrograde, and then there is that conjunction to the moon, and then there will be the opposition to Jupiter. So I think that you're going to really have to reassess how it is that you overdo it. And this, yes, this can be in terms of your finances, but I also think this can relate to, so thinking about your actual physical security, thinking about valuables you have, resources you have, and at the same time, I also see this as you actually being quite charitable, quite a charitable person, very generous, very giving. Maybe you can even be giving when it comes to your skills, your talents. You can be giving of your time, your effort. I mean, as an Aquarius, you can be a highly generous person, and the humanitarian, right? The humanitarian when it comes to Aquarius. So yes, basically what I'm trying to say here, Tallulah, is that during Venus retrograde, I think this is going to be a way for you to really see, okay, like how much am I giving? And does it make me feel good? Is there a sense of fulfillment there from your generosity? And then also, this can be a way for you to look at your creativity, to look at any sort of new outside of the box ideas, even thinking about how such things are tied to bigger networks, to your communities. Even Jupiter being there in Aquarius suggests that you gain so much fortune and wisdom and insight from being part of something that's bigger than you. That's how you gain luck. That's even how you can experience greater joy and happiness, is by being a part of a community or an organization where it's like, yes, I belong here. I feel uplifted here. So yeah, I think that perhaps Venus retrograde will get you having a look, taking another look at these types of ideas. However, We also notice this T square, okay? Mars is in Scorpio in your chart. And yes, this can suggest such determination, such focus. My goodness, Mars and Scorpio, folks, the drive, the dedication, even with you being having a Capricorn rising, yeah, self-sufficiency, determined, focused. Though of course your chart ruler Saturn is there in the 12th house. Neptune is also conjunct your ascendant. So I would also say that there is a part of this where you can go with the flow. And I would also say that your Saturn energy has suggested that throughout your life you've had to learn lessons with respect to your dedication, with respect to self-sufficiency and so on. But still, back to Scorpio. Mars and Scorpio there being at 26 degrees. So it's making this T square to the moon and then to Jupiter. So the Venus retrograde, right? This Venus retrograde for you is also going to make that square to your Mars. So I think that this could look like some run-ins with people, with thinking about the groups you're a part of, the teams you're a part of, any communities that you're a part of, even looking at your future aims, how you relate to other people on a more collective level. Yeah, it could be that there's some power struggles that will come up for you, and it's looking at, okay, how can you reflect, right? There's a great deal of reflection when it comes to Venus retrograde, reflecting upon what it is that you need and reflecting upon your self-expression there as well and your individuality. And I also want to make you aware of the fact that Mercury will turn retrograde. Oh, the dates need to, I believe it's from the 15th of September. You know what? I'll tell you at the very end, right? But anyway, Mercury retrograde is going to happen this summer. And what this could suggest then is that you will also be revisiting, reassessing how it is that you learn more, how it is that you break down information when it comes to further training, when it comes to higher education. I think this is also about looking at your teachings, your higher meaning, also reassessing your belief systems. And you do have Virgo there in the ninth house. So I think that it's always about being practical. You want to know about the practicalities of things. How do things actually translate within reality? So I think this could be a good upgrade, if you will, when it comes to really saying, okay, this is how this information is rooted within reality, or this is how my beliefs play a role when it comes to how I live my life, even thinking about your everyday life there. And then what else can I say for you? At the same time, I want to make you aware of Black Moon Lilith. Okay, so Black Moon Lilith, I've talked about Black Moon Lilith in a video recently, and Black Moon Lilith will then start to conjunct the Sun, and then Venus retrograde is going to play a role here. So throughout August, and then even the new moon is going to happen on your moon. Okay, the new moon's going to happen at 23 degrees. So you've got the moon at 24 degrees. So basically, I see this as a real revival for you, or like this awakening moment, or this, I can't do this anymore. I can't stand this anymore. So I just feel like for you, especially with your moon, your needs are going to be screaming at you. Like, I need to liberate myself from this. I need to be free from this. I cannot physically be tied to this anymore. Like a relationship or a job or a stream of income, or other people's expectations, or again, going back to Mars, what the group says, what their views, what their opinions are. And let's even just finish this off by mentioning that the nodes have shifted, okay? So the North Node will transit your 4th, and then the South Node will transit your 10th right up until January 2025. So especially with the North Node making this trine to Venus retrograde and then even to your moon, there is something here about your emotional needs, your emotional security, independence, the self, okay? Thinking about what it is that you need in order to move forward, but at the same time, still about balance, okay? It's still about looking at that South Node and saying, okay, right, how about I also utilize my skills to do with diplomacy, to do with tact, to do with cooperation? Okay, so that was yours, Tallulah, and let me just stop that. And I'm going to share the dates of Mercury retrograde. That's the next video, actually, I'm going to be talking about on the channel. So we have a new reading. Let me just come out of this, stop sharing my screen. I'll get those dates first. That's actually going to be the next video that I'm going to talk about in terms of horoscopes. There's going to be another video coming out tomorrow. It's going to be about the Venus direct and then Juno. So there'll be horoscopes there. Right, let's just double check the dates. I want to give these to you, especially to Lula, because yeah, I said I would. So Mercury is going to enter Virgo on the 28th of July, and then that retrograde is going to happen from the 23rd of August. The 23rd of August. Oh yes, of course, it's the beginning of Virgo season. How did I forget that? Anyway, there's just a lot to remember, isn't there? I'll write this down as well. So from the 23rd of August until the 15th of September. That's the Mercury retrograde in Virgo date. Those are the Mercury retrograde in Virgo dates. Now, oh, interesting. Okay, let me see here. I want to read for you, Tallulah, your feedback. I love getting feedback because it helps me understand what I'm seeing and really what is shown on your chart. It reflects your life, right? Your life. So Tallulah, you said, yes, you're accurate. I've had money issues in that regard, been working on that. I've had intimacy issues, not letting people get too close. Okay, past traumas. Okay, Venus retrograde could very well get you revisiting those traumas, or looking at them in a whole different light. It could be a very healing time for you. Okay, if we think about, even the 8th house is tied to unresolved trauma there as well, Tallulah. So you've been working on that. You're an artist and you're trying to set up your own studio in your new home. You know what? The North Node in Aries home, right? That this could be a good time for you to initiate, for you to be a leader. Awesome. All right, so we have two more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna stop it at that. Yeah. So I'm gonna take down the last two, and then I think I'm going to say that everything is fully booked for this one. Though I have a question for Alicia. Alicia, thank you so much for sending through money for a reading, but I want to know your info. Where's your info? Oh, there it's there. Just down. Thank you. And also, is it so you have a question basically? This is your question, right? Give me one moment. Moment. I can barely speak today. So the 27th of February, 1984, 3:26 p.m. Moscow, Russia. And let me. Okay, so that's definitely. I'm gonna edit. Just give me a moment, folks. Okay, I'm gonna edit this. I'm not getting caught out in this again. Okay, chart readings. So. Save. Make sure it saves this time. Did you work? Just going to go over to my actual YouTube channel to check. Thank you so much for your patience. To those of you who are still waiting for your reading, we'll get around to you in just a moment. Okay, perfect. Chart readings are full. We are full. All right. So, Alicia, yeah. Okay, perfect. So, Alicia, let me just check your question. So, Leo rising, Pisces sun. Question is, if you met a man and had a first date during Venus, let me just write this down. Pre-shadow period, okay. Should I be concerned it might not work? Okay. Right, we have your information then, Alicia, thank you. Oh, Scotty, you're next actually, Scotty. So you want to focus on career and love. Okay, noted that. And then Cara Perry, yeah, so it's $20 for a question and then $25 for 10 minutes, but we're fully booked today. So we have Bridget. And you're the 25th of November, 1994, 9:39 p.m. Arlington, VA, USA. Okay. And Bridget, yeah, Derek, definitely tune into the Juno video to learn more about it. Definitely. Okay, yes, so yours is 10 minutes, and then so for you, Alicia, that is a question. Everybody else's is 10 minutes each, and then for you, Alicia, yours is a question, and then the last one we have is Felicia. You're the last one today. You so Emer, is it Emer? Again, pronunciation. There will be another session next Friday. Okay, we'll be back next Friday. And then Felicia, I need to know something from you. What is your birth information? Did you put it there? Is it there? Because I do not see it. I'm just scrolling up to see if maybe I missed something. Yeah, let me know, Felicia, please. I need your birth information. I need your date of birth, your time of birth, and your location. And also, just to clarify, everyone, these are quick readings. Okay, these are 10-minute readings. They're not going to go into as much detail because we only have 10 minutes each. So if you are interested in booking a full reading with me, you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. Right, Scott, you were born on the 23rd of January, 1994. And you were born at 8 p.m. Excuse me. And Canada. Oh, I love Canada so much. I want to go back to Canada, I swear. I want to go back. Really do. Just loved seeing the Rocky Mountains. Just the west coast of Canada. It's a dream. Okay, 23rd of January 1994, 8 p.m. Baddeck in Nova Scotia. Focus on career and love. Okay, perfect. Come out of here, and then I'm just checking. Felicia, did you send me your info? You were born on the East Coast. Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you, Felicia. September 4th, 1985, 12:24 p.m. Okay. 14. Okay. Gotta change that. Okay. Do you have any? Okay. Augusta in Maine. Okay. That's all right. You don't need to apologize. You're good. We're getting through it. We're getting there. Yes, Friday. Woo-woo. Okay, Scott. So you live in Toronto right now. All right, so I'm gonna just save your chart. So you want to know about focus on career and love. Let me get this, get this, get this. Da, da. Just want to see. Because I'm trying to think, if you want to focus on career and love, should I do this as an overall sense? Should I look at more right now? Yeah, let's get, I'll look at your transits then as well. All right. And then come here. Just go back over here, make sure everyone is accounted for. Hi Danielle, welcome. Welcome. And then I'm just going through these quickly to make sure I've got everybody in here. Bridget, going through your Saturn return, transitioning, moving country. I feel like everything is everywhere. Curious what you say. Okay, noted. Saturn return. I would say that for you, life just feels chaotic right now. Okay. Definitely got everybody. Alicia, got you. Yeah, okay. Lovely. Thank you, Scott. All right. Now, share my screen. Sure. There we go. Right, Scott. Have a look. Okay, so gonna set the timer for you. Go. All right, Scott. So you want to know about, well, do you know what? Let's look at the love life, okay? Because what's standing out in your chart to me is the fact that you have Neptune, Uranus, and Mars in Capricorn in the fifth. Now, the fifth house is the house that rules romance. So, romantic relationships, flings, dating, love, all that good stuff, okay? So, for you, I think that with having Capricorn there is a sense of right. What about commitment? What about respect? What about integrity? Okay, there's a sense of integrity present, I think. And I think as well, with you having your Mars in Capricorn, you're going to be strategic. Okay, you're going to be someone who you really try to strategize, when it comes to, right, okay, what is the next step? What is it that I need to do when it comes to love and relationships? And you're going to put in a lot of effort. You're going to show that you're dedicated. If, for example, you do commit to someone, okay, there can be a sense of dedication, though we will talk more about that in the seventh house, because the seventh house looks at relationships as well. Now, the thing, of course, is Uranus is there. So Uranus and Neptune are both there, and they're actually conjunct. And I would say, even with Uranus especially conjunct, or chaotic or sudden. Suddenly, it's like, oh my gosh, for things may not be working so well. And of course, even with Neptune being there, there's a sense of sacrifice, okay? Self-sacrifice and really merging even as well. I kind of see this as, whilst there is a big part of you that sets out with these intentions of, right, okay, I want to show a sense of dedication and I want to know, what to expect, or I want to know what the plan is or what the strategy is. Things can actually be quite chaotic or up and down, or just, it's like expect the unexpected. And then as well, you could very well fall for people especially if they align with your own sort of sensual desires, or if they align with, what you find to be sexually attractive. Of course, Mars even rules sex, it's tied to sexuality. Even the fifth house is tied to sexuality. And I think for you, you may be really attracted to partners who are kind of unconventional or quirky or witty, or even partners who are very compassionate and very loving and respectful. But then the thing is, as well, is we got to look at Venus. So Venus is also tied to relationships, and you have Venus in Aquarius; it's conjunct the Sun. So I think this only adds to the attraction to those who are quite quirky, or even those who are independent. I think when it comes to relationships, you value your independence, and you can be loyal and you can be very faithful. But it's just, if you ever feel like you're being smothered, right? It's like, oh, this is too suffocating for me. Like, you could very well just get to a point where it's like, nah, I can't. So I do think that there is a big part of this where it's like you need to be free. You need to have that freedom, that space. Now, if we think about currently for you, okay, with Pluto being there in your fifth house, it's been there for years and years, from 2008, especially toward the end there, with the conjunction to Mars and everything. My goodness, your romantic relationships have really transformed and renewed in a lot of ways. And even with Pluto going to enter Aquarius by 2024, and it's going to conjunct your Venus eventually over the next couple of years, I also see this as like this huge change to the ways in which you show up within your relationships. And also, let's think about the sixth house. Okay, the sixth house can be tied to work. Let's think also about that career house, so the 10th house, the midheaven there in Gemini, moon in Gemini. And then also with Pluto, that will make that trine to the midheaven. So like next year, the year after, I really see this as huge leaps, huge changes with respect to your career. Okay, thinking even about that Gemini energy, especially, something to do with your intellect, communication, thinking about how you articulate, how you articulate a message. Also thinking about networking, media, technology, invention, creativity, even with the Aquarius energy there, something innovative. Yeah, I just feel like there's something coming up here to do with these huge leaps within your career, okay? But these leaps that are really very groundbreaking or very changeable or unexpected, okay? Now, moving along. So the thing about this too is you've got Pisces in the seventh house, right? So that can suggest that when it comes to relationships, you can be self-sacrificing, you can merge, but Saturn is there right now, right? So Saturn is transiting that seventh house for you right up until 2024. I'll again dates at the end. So over the next couple of years, basically, you will then start to truly see, okay, where are my commitments? Like, who am I committed to? And I just think that there's a big part of this where it's like emotional maturity, right? Saturn is that ruler of your fifth house, right? So to have the dispositor of your Mars and to have the ruler of your fifth house being in the seventh house of long-term relationships, of partnerships, I think that it is really about, okay, I'm going to be emotionally mature here. I'm going to consider my emotional security, my emotional authority. This, I think, points toward just the seriousness um, toward relationships. And it could very well be that you feel like, yeah, you know what, I've grown so much. Maybe you have. Maybe even with Pluto transiting that fifth house for you, especially over the last few years, like things have been really intense when we think about relationships. But Saturn coming along here in the seventh house for you very much recently, so throughout this year, I just feel like you're at a point in your life where it's like you've grown so much. And and the other thing as well that I want to mention is there's that trine to Juno. Okay, so Juno is known as the asteroid tied to marriage and commitment and meaningful bonds, give and take. So Juno and Scorpio is like, it's not, there's no playing. Okay, when you When you really decide to commit to someone, there is intensity, it's about intimacy, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of desire there as well, and there's a lot of focus, right? And I just think even with you having your Venus in a fixed sign, Juno in a fixed sign, Mars in this Capricorn energy, I just think there is a great deal of, commitment, faithfulness, loyalty. But it is important to you that you feel that, that you feel like you matter, or you feel like there is a genuine connection. So, what I wanted to say here, I know with time and everything for you, Scott, what I want to say here is Saturn is retrograde. It's going to go way back to that 0 degree toward like October, November time, again, dates. But when it does, so around that time, there will be that trine exact to that 0 degrees for you, Juno. I think that will be a really eye-opening experience for you. And I think even coming into the beginning of Saturn entering Pisces, this was March of this year, that opened a huge chapter for you. I just see this as a huge opening. I see this as a moment of like clarity. I see this as a moment of, I feel like I need something that is truly meaningful, something worth substance. And again, this goes back to those meaningful bonds. Though the last thing perhaps to mention with this is, so if we think about career again, because you did want to know about that as well, I did touch on it briefly, but the last thing with this is with you having your moon in Gemini, right? And then having all this Aquarius energy, I think that what you need when it comes to career is you need flexibility, okay? And also with you having a Virgo rising, I just want to say this is another Mercury world sign. With you having this Virgo rising, and you're someone who needs like something like mentally challenging, mentally stimulating. I think you like being able to break things down, seeing how things work, how they operate, looking at systems. And even with Jupiter being there in Scorpio in the third house, which is the house that is traditionally ruled by Mercury, that Scorpio energy with Jupiter there, it's like you're going to receive so many blessings and new opportunities and fortune and good luck whenever you are being investigative, whenever you are able to like dig deep into things. And yeah, but at the same time, it is about looking at flexibility, versatility, possibly even juggling a few different roles at once. Okay. Um, Scott, that was yours. Though, if I come out of this, I want to just remind you the Saturn retrograde dates. That was something that I mentioned. And then what was the other thing? Dates. Um, what was the other? Let me think for a moment. It's just so many streams, so many streams. Oh my gosh. There was definitely another thing that I wanted to say about the dates. I'll get to it in just a moment. Scott, you said you just got out of a long-term 3-year relationship, end of September, upside down, bachelor's education now in Toronto. Oh, good luck with taking on your bachelor's of education in Toronto. That's exciting. And even with Jupiter being there, transiting your ninth house, I mean, yeah, that can indicate higher education. Okay, furthering your knowledge, furthering your understanding on things. And then also, I just want to see with this retrograde, that was something that I wanted to mention with Saturn direct. When's that going to happen? Saturn direct will be on the 4th of November. So it will go back to that 0 degree point, and then that will make that trine to Juno for you, basically, Scott. So I think that could be a moment of like aha or clarity, or able to move forward with the things that you really learned over the past few over the next few months, what you will learn in terms of commitment and meaningful bonds, meaningful relationships, what it is that you desire, what it is that you need and crave. And then go here. You're going to be an elementary school teacher. Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah, teaching. Oh, the midheaven in Gemini, teaching. I love it. That's so interesting. there was definitely the dates. The dates, I'm going to absolutely rattle my brain, because there was definitely like a date that I wanted to talk about, that I wanted to say. There was the retrograde, mentioned that, and then was it Pluto? Okay, it's completely went out of my mind, but you know what? If it comes back to me, I'll bring it up again. I promise I will bring it up again. It's just, it was something to do with the dates that I wanted to mention, but that's okay. Right, so next we have Derek. 18th of August, 1991, 3:08 p.m. 3:08 p.m. And I also just want to say thank you so much for, giving me feedback. Thanks for letting me know, just sharing your experiences, how you find the reading, what relates, what else you want to share. Your feedback even helps me further my own understanding of astrology and other people watching today, as well, because then that shows just the practicality of things, how things show up for people in their everyday lives, in real life. And that's great, thinking about people's experiences and how their charts actually play out within reality. I love that. So thank you so much. Cincinnati. 3:08 p.m. 18th of August, 1991. Okay, and then what is the dates of Mercury I was trying to find? Was it the dates of Mercury? Yeah, because I found the dates of Mercury that was from the 23rd of August, the retrograde. So Mercury retrograde in Virgo from the 23rd of August to the 15th of September. I found that. And then with Saturn retrograde, it's going to go back to that 0-degree point and turn direct in November. And then I feel like there was one other thing that I was talking about throughout Scott's reading. It was that piece of information, and it always bugs me whenever I can't remember something. Do you know how that happens? I do. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I don't think it was to do with the retrograde. I think it was to do with Pluto. No, I know when Pluto was moving into Aquarius. What's it to do with the nodes? Maybe it was the retrograde date that I was trying to look at. Yeah. Anyway, so Derek, thank you so much, Derek, for trying to help me remember. Ah, right, Derek. Yeah, annoying. It's sort of like you know when when you're watching a movie and you're trying to place who the actor is. Like I know who that actor is. I've seen that actor before in something. And you just can't remember. And like, damn, I'm absolutely rattling my brains. It's good because now we have Google and you can just look it up. You can just look up the movie itself and then you find it. But yeah, stuff like that. Like But yeah, it's a small detail, isn't it? I was just trying to help in terms of the time periods of things here. Yeah. Though perhaps even just yeah, actually that's okay. That's okay. Right, Derek. I'm telling you, it'll come to me. It'll come to me. And Derek, I can't remember. You just want like a general? This is a general reading then for you. Let me just scroll up and see if there's anything else he said. Yeah, I think it's just the general. Okay. Okay, right. Let me just share my screen. Okay, awesome. Thank you for clarifying. Sure. All right. So setting the timer for you. Start. Okay, so Derek, what is jumping out at me, firstly, in this reading is the fact that, okay, so you're Leo, and also you have Jupiter in Leo, conjunct the sun in the ninth house. Okay, Jupiter is home in the ninth house, and you also have the Sagittarius rising plus the moon in Sagittarius. So there's a lot of fire here. Okay, so much fire, so much passion, so much eagerness and enthusiasm, especially when it comes to learning, especially when it comes to furthering your mind, even just when it comes to understanding yourself. I think that you are someone who is continuously open to learning new things about the world, about yourself. I think that you may have certain philosophies or beliefs that you're very loyal to and that you live your life according to as well. Okay. I don't really see this as you being someone who just talks, right? You know how you can get people where it's like, oh, yeah, these are my beliefs. But the reality of it is that they don't walk the walk. Okay. It's just more about preaching, but not actually doing. I think that you may be vocal about sharing what you believe, sharing what you enjoy, sharing what you're passionate about, but you also align such enthusiasm with action. And we even notice this with you having so much Virgo energy, right? So, whilst you have all of this fire, you also have this good bit of earth, right? So, you have Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Virgo, and Mars there as well. So you are intentional. You're intentional with your words. I think that you are intentional when it comes to even relationships. You're intentional when it comes to the things that you like. You can be very particular about the things that you like as well. And you may even consider yourself to be somewhat simple. And what I mean by this is just having more of this simple approach toward the things that you like, toward the things that you enjoy. It's like, whilst you have so much of this Leo energy that can suggest luxury and doing the most and being like flamboyant at times, perhaps, I also think that you have this other side to your personality that is very content with having not so much. And maybe you even consider yourself to be highly down to earth, very down to earth, very much grounded as well, and humble. I think that there is a great deal of humility when it comes to you. Okay, sure, the Sun conjunct Jupiter could perhaps tell a different story. But I think that really, your values align with that of just being more humble and calm, and knowing as well truly like what you value, right? Staying true to your values. And I think too that you can be seen as such a likable person. You may not see this, right? Because Venus is retrograde, and it could suggest that maybe it feels like you need to work really hard for people's recognition or for people to see you. Or do you know what? It could be that there's some sort of difficulty here, even with expressing yourself sometimes, with sharing, with communicating. And that's because Mercury is also retrograde and it's conjunct that Venus energy too. And so, yeah, basically what I'm trying to say here is that it can just feel like you have to do more, or like you have to put more of an effort in. But maybe what you don't say is just how much people respect you, how much they see you, how much they appreciate you, how much they want to give to you, right? You could just be this like big ball of light, where you can light up a room, you can impress other people without having to try hard, right? But this is what I'm getting. It's like, it's no matter how many people, right? No matter how many people tell you, like, you're doing amazing, like, awesome, good job, you need to see these things for yourself, right? This is about inward motion. This is about recognizing your own skills, your own talents, your own capabilities. And like I was saying, with the Venus energy and being in the 10th house, I think that you can come across as this very likable person, right? Or you can come across as very beautiful, or people think, oh my gosh, you're so attractive, or you're so appealing, or you're really nice, you're really kind, really sweet. Like Mercury conjunct Venus, there's a sweetness in your words. Now, okay, at the same time, there's the Virgo energy, and that can suggest perhaps that you can rub people the wrong way, okay? Because it's like you can be seen as maybe too nitpicky or as super critical, but really there is so much to be gained from you correcting and being punctual and seeing what actually works, because that's how you can improve, right? Your message, your way of communicating can help improve the network, improve the organization, improve the company that you work for. Your ideas, right? Your practical ideas, the things that you can clearly see, right? Okay, this maybe needs to be improved, or this can be adjusted a little bit. Those things go such a long way. But again, this goes back to you recognizing just for yourself how much you give in that you how much you give in terms of seeing the changes that you can make. And I also think that Mars, right? So Mars is there in Virgo. What an ambitious placement, especially when it comes to your services, especially when it comes to help, especially when it comes to work, even thinking about perhaps you working within health related professions. Okay, that's a possibility. Working within professions that involve really like supporting the public, serving the public. But yeah, very ambitious, very much a go-getter, but you're going to be practical about things. You're actually going through your Mars return right now. So you may be at this point, Derek, where it's like, what can I change? Am I on the right path? Do I enjoy what I do? And then as well, with Mercury retrograde, right? You're going to experience your Mercury return. And the thing is that Mercury is going to go retrograde from the 23rd of August up until the 15th of September. So this really is a time period for you to revisit these work-related matters, but then also just revisiting your life mission, your purpose, what it is that you want to achieve, with respect to things like health, making a difference, service, helping others, even thinking about well, pets, that could be a thing, right? Considering small animals, okay, because Virgo rules these things, diet, nutrition, exercise as well. So yes, I just think that there is a big focus upon um, how it is that you can serve and help. And then with Mercury being retrograde, there will be a review of some kind, okay? Really revisiting these types of things. And then also Venus, which is the ruler of your sixth house, okay? The sixth house, which is traditionally ruled by Virgo, Venus there is in Virgo. So I think this does add to the part of this where you do like to have some type of consistent routine, but you're also open to change. You can also be very adaptable, very flexible. I even just see this as you being just this grounded figure for so many people. And okay, moving along quickly. You have all that Capricorn energy as well. The North Node is also there. So I would say that there are big themes, okay, especially with the North Node, there are big themes to do with how you can mature, right? How you can mature when it comes to your resources, your materials. And I think that perhaps even your Saturn return brought up a lot of these things. And even like I'd say 2018, 2019 was really a time period where you were having to look at, right, okay, how can I structure myself? How can I be more disciplined with my money, with my earnings? And how do I show up even when it comes to spending and saving? And even thinking about how you're quite skilled or quite talented at being a structured person or being an authority in many ways. So yeah, looking at those skills and talents of yours. And yeah, I think that the North Node in Capricorn for you highlights just the importance of maturing, right? Really maturing, being an adult, so to speak, and coming to a point of, yes, I know what my responsibilities are. I know what my commitments are when it comes to my valuables, my possessions, when it comes to how I earn, even thinking about your own self-worth, right? There are big things here to do with your self-worth, to do with feelings of worthiness, to do with your own inner security there as well. Okay, Derek. So that was your 10-minute reading. We come back and I just want to stop sharing. Okay. Okay, yes, that was yours, Derek. So thank you so much. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you all so much for being here. I hope that you have found this video to be helpful so far. Where are we? So Brie said you have a different currency. Not sure if the conversion, if you enter 20, will that box at work? I think, yeah, so basically the dot, I think what the charge is, it's $20 for a question and then $25 for a 10-minute reading. But see, we are fully booked for this one today. But we'll be back next Friday. Okay, we will be back next Friday. So definitely tune in then. And it's good to see you as well. I hope you're doing well. Pretty sure your birthday would have happened recently. So I hope you had a good birthday. And then Derek, you said very accurate, Hannah. You actually did go to school for dental assisting and worked as one briefly. Now I work for the government. Also, you learned so much astrology. Is very interesting to me, to you. Good, awesome. And then also, thanks for your feedback. You said there about going to school for dental assisting. That's so interesting. Yeah, because the whole dental side of things, hygiene to do with Virgo. Okay, medical side of things to do with Virgo. Okay, interesting. And then the government side of things as well to do with Capricorn, and the government side of things to do with the 10th house. Okay, interesting. The North Node also being there then in Capricorn type of government, earning money. Okay. Oh, and then also, I would say with the sun being in Leo, that can even point toward like government as well, especially with Jupiter conjunct there. Hey, okay, I'm learning too. Right, so next up we have Lori. Alicia, you are going to be next. You're going to be after Lori. Okay. Yes, Fraser, you said it was the end of June. Yeah, to enter Canadian. Oh, okay, I see. Um, yeah, I need to double check then how you can change the conversion rates. I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can change. Right, so let's move on to Lori. We have 4 more left, and then that's going to be us, folks. I'll be back next week, though. I will be back. Lori, 17th of May. 73. 1:55 p.m. Brooklyn, New York. and yeah, Kings County, Brooklyn, New York, 1:55 p.m. 17th of May 1973. Okay, great. Also, Derek, happy birthday for August. Just want to say again, happy birthday for August. Leo season starts tomorrow. Lori. And Lori, I'm just going to check any sort of questions that you've sent my way or information. Oh, interesting, Derek. Thank you for your feedback. So, Lori, you are mainly trying to get some information about the possibility of asking your family about moving to your grandma's house. She just passed 5 days ago. Oh, I'm so sorry about your grandmother, Lori. I'm sorry to hear about your grandmother's passing. That's difficult. That's difficult. Grief is hard. You're moving. Okay, so moving to your grandma's house as opposed to them selling. Okay. Okay. So you basically want to move there and they want to sell the house. Okay. You're not in a position to buy, but you could rent. So you could rent the house then out to others? Or oh no, sorry, you could rent it. You'd be moving across country from Oh, so you'd be moving. Okay. So that's okay. So your grandmother lived in California and then you're living in Virginia. So you'd be moving all the way out. Okay. Okay. Right, what I'll do here. When's your birthday? Yeah, Taurus. Okay. What we'll do. We'll have a wee look at some different timing techniques. Timing techniques. 1973 minus 2023. Okay, so you're 50. You're 50 this year. Just give me a moment. I just want to have a look at some timing techniques. Okay, third. Okay, third house. Right, got that. Go here. Go here. Transits. Got that. And then it's like okay, right. So what I'm going to do for you, Lori, is we're going to pull up the transits chart. I will show you this chart. Yes. Progressions. Let me just have a quick look through progressions. Okay, right. I'm going to show you the transits chart basically while I talk through everything, but I'll also be taking a quick look at secondary progressions and then also the solar return. And yeah, I will keep you informed throughout. Right. So go here, here. Down the bottom. Yes, we're fully booked today, but we'll be back next Friday. Be back next week. Lori, if I just grab this, go over here, and then yeah, so because I want to switch between different, maybe do that. Yeah, okay, I might do that. Okay, just give me one moment. It just makes things easier for me, just so I can keep up. Sorry. One, and then sorry. Two. Okay. Computer just decides to freeze for some reason. Just not work. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Okay, got it. Come to the room. Right. Just want to come back out of that and then go back in. Go. Okay, lovely. All right. So lovely. We can even switch between them so I can show you. Awesome. Okay, that's good. Right. So Lori, I'm going to set the timer. And then here. We can just go back like that. Okay, perfect. Right. So setting the timer for you, Lori. Let's go. Right. So something that stood out to me in this is, firstly, let's discuss how your 50th year is going to activate the third house for you, okay? The third house, as you can see here, has Scorpio there. And with having that Scorpio energy then being activated for you throughout your 50th year, I can't help but think that this can point toward power struggles with respect to siblings, with respect to cousins. This can look at power struggles even when it comes to your local area, when it comes to your neighborhood here. This could also look like something very transformative with respect to your local area, your local city. And then we even notice here some fears, okay? Fears to do with a change, fears to do with a transformation. And then also a great deal of emotional resilience, I would also say. And the thing about this is, if we consider just your own placements, so Mars is one of the rulers of Scorpio. You have your natal Mars in Pisces. And having your Mars in Pisces suggests to me that often you can often be passive, right? There can be this this passive element to having Mars in Pisces. You can bury your head under the sand. It can be this thing of, oh, I don't want to deal with that right now. Oh, I don't want to have to address that right now. Now, whenever you do eventually, of course, take action on things, there can be a great deal like of this emotional push or urge, or the ability to really make things happen, especially when it comes to things that are creative, imaginative, things that are artistic. And then also we notice here how much of a natural sort of healer you can be, or how empathetic you can be, how empathy and your intuition can be part of your power, right? But you see, Saturn is there, and it's actually conjunct Mars for you. It's retrograde right now. So I think this is about you revisiting, reassessing when you can be passive, right? When it is maybe that you need to address something, confront someone. Okay, this is in the seventh house tied to relationships and partnerships, even thinking about certain contracts that are signed, agreements that are signed. Just, I would say, the Saturn energy is coming along, and it's kind of saying, right, make sure that you are considering what your options are. make sure that you are standing up for yourself as well. Maybe there is a part of this where it's about, okay, time to stand up for yourself. Now, another thing is I want to further mention your solar return chart. Okay, so in your solar return chart, you will actually have this Sagittarius energy in the third house. Okay, so that to me, if we consider how Sagittarius is the sign tied to long distance travel, I'm pretty sure Virginia to California, I mean, that's pretty far. I think I'm pretty sure that's pretty far. So I think that within itself, even moving from state to state, I see as sort of like long distance travel. And even thinking about the number of miles. But anyway, point being, this could very well look like a relocation. This can translate to you having to move in some way, shape, or form. And then Jupiter, which is the ruler of that third house, that is in Taurus there, 0 degrees in the eighth house, right? You have this eighth house stellium. The eighth house, what's that tied to? Joint resources, okay? Managing other people's money, other people's items, other people's materials. What does this also suggest? Inheritance, okay? This can look at things that are passed on. So I think that there is such a focus on these types of things for you, and looking at how things are grounded, how you can show up in a calm way, in a determined, focused way, where it's like, I am not budging on this. I'm not changing my mind on this. Now, at the same time, Uranus is there, right? And that can suggest some unexpectancy or the unexpected changes. This can look at certain disruptions, but this doesn't necessarily have to be where things are completely ruined or destroyed. This could even look like progress. This can look like change and improvement. So yeah, there is that Taurus energy that I want to bring to your attention. And if we bring it back over to Sagittarius, you have Sagittarius in the fourth house. Okay, so if we consider how this Sagittarius energy is in the third, which, by the way, I just further want to mention with this that you have a Libra rising in this particular solar return year. So there is a great deal of diplomacy. There's a great deal of having to weigh out your options, the pros, the cons, and also having to deal with relationships in a lot of ways. And then back to the Sagittarius energy. So if we consider how, in a way, that third house in Sagittarius is going to sort of be in that fourth house for you, and you have all that Sagittarius energy, you've got your moon there, Ceres, Neptune, Black Moon Lilith, you've got Juno. I would say that when it comes to family, okay, family, when it comes to your home, when it comes to what you need emotionally, these things are going to be very prominent, there's a focus basically. I think there's a big focus, and I think that focus is somehow triggered because of siblings, because of cousins, because of maybe even old friends. Thinking even about how the third house can be tied to classmates or our peers, and then also looking at communication, what needs to be communicated, what needs to be shared in a way where it's like, no, but this is what I mean, and this is where I stand on this situation. But still, the Sagittarius energy can look at the expansion, so to speak, or moving, or having to relocate. Okay. But I also want to blend that in with this annual perfection for you. So for your 50th year, with the third house being activated, um, this creates that intensity. This creates the power struggles, right? This highlights, possibly not being on the same wavelength, or having to really, push to have something go your way. But then at the same time, it's about recognizing when you're maybe being too forceful, and trying to kind of see, right, what can be achieved here. And I further want to mention with this that your Pluto, so Pluto is the other ruler of Scorpio, Pluto there for you is in Libra in your second house. So I would say that when it comes to money matters, okay, finance matters, resource matters, I think that you're someone who has really went through these like huge changes, these moments of like possibly, where it's like things are basically reaching a crisis point, right? Reaching a point of emergency and urgency and having to think now in a way. And it's like trying to wear this out right now is not going to get the job done, or it's not going to even help in this situation. It's like Pluto comes along, Uranus comes along, and it says, right, okay, it is time to transform through this. There can be a forcefulness, basically, is what I'm trying to say with Pluto. And there can be like this sudden, like this splash, this sudden change when it comes to Uranus as well there. So yeah, I would say that throughout your life, you've really been trying to find this equilibrium, find this balance when it comes to your physical security. So I think this year is going to challenge these things in a way. It's really going to assess and ask you, what have you learned, right? And I further want to mention that if we follow actual Pluto, the transit Pluto, Pluto is there in the fifth house for you. So this will be up until January 2024. And so I think with Pluto then being in Capricorn for this amount of time, there's something here about you having to really reassess the structure of what it is that you reassessing the structure of the things that you want, okay? Your individuality, your self-expression. I think this can be a really eye-opening, sort of awakening time for you in terms of what is it that you want to do and what will bring you the most joy and happiness. And then even with Pluto entering Aquarius by 2024, it will dip back in and out throughout 2024, but that can also look at then these huge changes to do with work. Okay, so if we consider how even you've got Venus and Saturn there in Gemini, in the midheaven there also in Gemini, and then Pluto will eventually make that trine to Venus, and then even with Jupiter being there in Aquarius, and then there's the trine happening to the midheaven. Yeah, this could very well look like Pluto getting to a point where it triggers that, it activates that. And what I mean by that is activating renewal, activating change, doing something new when it comes to work, or looking at how you can expand or evolve in some way. Okay, so I just wanted to finish the end of that there, Lori. Go here. Okay, Lori, yeah, you said so it's about 3,000 miles. Yeah, that is, that's a long way away. But I hope that you find that to be helpful. I hope you find your reading to be helpful. All right, Alicia, let's move on to yours. '27th of February, 1984. Moscow, Russia. Excuse me. Three 26 p.m. 27th of February, 1984. Okay. Go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. So your question, Alicia, was if you met a man and you had a first date during a Venus pre-shadow period, should you be concerned that it might not work? So what I want to do is, of course, you're a Pisces. Good, Lori. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Good. And, I really appreciate your feedback, everyone. I always appreciate feedback. I am learning just as much. Okay. I am learning more about astrology. I'm learning more about yous. Okay, Alicia, let me just see. So secondary progressions, transits. Let's see. Yeah, let's pull up the transits chart for you. Alicia. And this is a question. So this is basically a question. Share my screen. Okay, there we go. All right. So your question was, if you met a man and you had a first date during Venus pre-shadow, should you be concerned it might not work? I would okay, in short, this is my short answer to this. No, you shouldn't be you should not be concerned. Personally, I think that when it comes to meeting someone new during even a Venus retrograde, I think that it often gets a bad rap for being like this doom, right? Your relationship is doomed, or oh, you better not get together with someone during a Venus retrograde because you're not going to make it, right? But to me, if you think about it logically speaking, and even statistically speaking, there are plenty of people who get into relationships when Venus is direct, and then the relationship still doesn't work out. So if you think about it from the opposite way, I just, yeah, you maybe get the point with that. But at the same time, right, I do understand why this is said, because I think that what it is good to keep in mind is just, okay, retrogrades, how about we reflect a little bit? How about we just go inward? How about we consider the new relationship? How about we even just draw back a little bit and go, what is my heart actually saying? Or is it that I'm just getting swept up in an emotion? Is it that I'm getting swept up in empty words, empty promises? Just trying to see things for what they are. Okay. And I think that that is perhaps even more significant during this particular Venus retrograde, which of course is coming up. And that is because Venus retrograde will make this in conjunction to Neptune retrograde. And at the same time, Venus direct, so before that retrograde starts, there was still that in conjunction to that Neptune in Pisces energy, and that was actually very much recently. I would even say right now that's a thing that is happening now, because Venus is at 28 degrees right now, and then also Neptune is at. Let me just check my degrees. Degrees. Neptune right now is at 27 degrees, right? And it's retrograde. So yeah, the reason why I'm saying this about seeing things clearly for what they are is because Neptune, you see, can create a fog. So in your case, right, let's bring this back to you then, Alicia. Of course, in your case, you have a Leo rising, right? And you said, of course, that you're a Pisces. And that's in the 8th house. You even have Black Moon Lilith there in Pisces. And Saturn is currently transiting your 8th house, and it's right there. It's right there on your sun and your Black Moon Lilith. So I think that this is let me just double check the degrees. Yeah, I would say that this is a time period where you are reestablishing yourself. I think that this is about you truly going inward and kind of saying, where is it that you merge too much? See, with having Pisces there, especially that Black Moon Lilith energy, this can suggest this being so lost in other people's expectations, their projections, the whole mirroring stuff when it comes to Pisces energy, getting caught up in emotional it was that entanglements, and I don't mean that in the way that Jaden Pinkett Smith mentioned it. What I mean by this is just getting so caught up in other people's emotional waves, and even losing yourself in other people in a lot of ways. So I think there is a type of revival for you. And I would say as well, truly establishing healthy boundaries. I think this is a big theme for you, Alicia. And that, of course, can be connected in with your relationships, then, right? So, yes, I would say here, right, when it comes to the whole thing of dating and love with Venus, that what you are currently working on with respect to your emotions, with respect to your identity as well. Okay, the sun is your chart ruler. And the sun being there in Pisces, being in the eighth house, this can suggest some challenges when it comes to establishing yourself, right? Thinking about your individuality, your identity. So I think even this Venus retrograde is going to bring up these triggering moments for you, or it's going to be a way for you to truly go, right, okay, maybe it is that you're enjoying spending time with this other person. There is a sense of, fulfillment, or like there's good things happening. You're feeling all the butterflies in your stomach, but just also be able to kind of go, right, okay, how am I actually feeling right now? When I'm processing things, I'm also, how much have I learned when it comes to my own spiritual journey, when it comes to my emotional transformations, and also how much have you learned when it comes to setting healthy boundaries, like healthy, nourishing boundaries. And of course, with Neptune currently transiting your eighth house at the same time, so there is that Neptune energy transiting your eighth house, and then there's the in conjunction to Venus in your first house. This can very well look like, Alicia, you being very attractive right now, very appealing. It can look like, the beginning of a new relationship cycle. This can look like something romantic unfolding, and you look good, you feel confident, but of course, this is also about seeing, okay, where are the lines blurred? What am I not seeing? Reading between the lines, looking at what is not being said, and even just looking at, okay, you know what? I'm going to keep this for me. I'm going to keep this for me. I don't have to expose everything about myself right now. Maybe we can just take it slow. Maybe we can just take our time. Maybe I can just see how I actually feel, especially um coming out of the Venus retrograde. Okay, so during Venus retrograde, yeah, still, do your thing, basically, right? I think that this can be a very loving time for many of us, but it's also about being able to keep something for yourself, right? It's also about being able to do that inner work at the same time, bringing it back to the self, basically, during this Venus retrograde, especially with it being in Leo, and in your first house as well, and even seeing, right, like, what insecurities are coming up, or like, do I feel sane? Do I feel secure? How secure do I feel when I'm around this person? How secure are they in themselves? Just even being able to ask yourself these types of questions, and these types of questions that are even very practical, actually. And you may even notice this with Mercury going to be retrograde in Virgo from the 23rd of August to the 14th of September. It's a good time to ask yourself those practical questions in terms of, right, okay, like, do I feel secure? What are my values? What are their values, etc., etc. But to kind of finish this off here for you, Alicia, I just want to say that with Venus then turning direct, okay, this will be from the 3rd of September. There will be that loose conjunction to Juno. Juno will enter Leo in August. So there will be that loose conjunction from the 3rd of September up until October time. So that could very well be a good opportunity for you to then truly move forward with the relationship. That could even be a time period where it's like, you know what? I've done all the reflection. Okay. I've really thought about how secure I feel with you and how secure you are. And like, I've assessed the situation. I've thought about this. I've been mature about this. And then you get to a point of, you know what? I'm ready to commit. Or like, I'm ready to take this a step further. Or I can see myself being with you more long term. These types of things I think could very well come up. Um, yeah. And oh, just one more thing I just want to say for you. Um, Alicia, in your solar return chart, I wanted to look at it really quickly. you're going to have this stellium in Aries in the 5th house. I mean, Venus is there, Jupiter is there, Juno is there. So, yeah, I would say that there is a pretty big focus upon romance. Romance, dating, do you know what? Have fun. Have fun, right? It can be so doom and gloom, I think, sometimes when it comes to astrology. And maybe I can add to that doom and gloom. I don't know. Maybe I do. But yeah, just have fun, right? Venus retrograde says have fun. Enjoy it. Try and enjoy it. Okay, but of course that does depend on everybody's personal experiences. Anyway, let's move on. You said, Alicia, you said, whoa, thank you so much. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for the whoa. And I hope you find it to be helpful. Thank you. Okay, so moving on to Bridget. So we have 2 left. We got Bridget and then we got Felicia, and that's gonna be us. I'll be back next Friday. I've really enjoyed this session today, you know? I have. I've been energetic. I felt good. You know what? I really enjoy these. I really, really enjoy these. And I love getting to talk to you throughout the process. I'm still thinking about the thing that I missed earlier. I'm still thinking about it. It was during Scott's reading. There was something that I wanted to say. Okay, there was a date that I wanted to come back to. But I dropped it. I'll probably listen to this back over and I'll be like, oh, that was the thing, you know? Listen to Scott's part of it and be like, oh, that was the thing I wanted to say. Yeah. 39. Arlington. And that's in V. O P S T V. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Arlington V. Oh. I have a question. For. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I have a question for you, Bridget. Can you please let me know? Right. You said Arlington in Virginia. I'm assuming that's Virginia. What county? We have Arlington County, we have Northampton County, we have Hopewell County. You still there? Hopefully you're still there. Do I ever have a session when you give answers to our questions related to astrological stuff? Something I could do that, but I do answer questions. So there's questions that I answer in Q&As for the horoscopes, for your horoscopes. And then also there's an archetype series that I've started, which there will be questions there. Though to be fair, that is more about the sign and the archetype. Where are you, Bridget? Are you still with us, Bridget? Maybe you had to dip. Maybe you had to leave. Oh, hold on. I want to check. Saturn return. Jupiter has been in your 10th, not in career yet, doing small jobs, graduate school, more contacts. Okay. Can you please let me know your county? Not in. Oh, thank you. Arlington. Arlington County. Awesome. Okay. Arlington County. Okay. 9:39. No. Yes. 9:39 p.m. Arlington. 26th of November, 1994. All right, Sagittarius. Right, so you want to know, okay, something about your Saturn return. Okay, Saturn return energy. Got that. We've got, so you got Jupiter right now transiting your 10th. Yep. Okay. Let's go here. Let's go here. Here, 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 here. Okay. Okay. So let's just share my screen. Go back over here, here. Chev, for now, the Q&As are paid sessions. They're $10 per, it's $10 per question, okay, when we look at the Q&As. But who knows, maybe I will do a Q&A one of these days where you can ask me any questions you have. Right. So, Bridget, this is your chart showing transits. Okay, so we're going to set a timer. Saturn return. Okay. Okay. Actually, 2 seconds. I want to go back one. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. All right, so I actually wanted to pull up a couple of solar returns for you as well, Bridget. So, yeah, but I'm just showing the transits at the same time. All right, let's go. All right, so something that really stood out to me for you here, Bridget. So kind of going to the chaotic energy, being here, there, everywhere. What we're noticing with your solar return from 2022 until 2023, which is the solar return that you are currently experiencing, right? What we notice is you have a Gemini ascendant, and then you have Mars retrograde in Gemini in the first house. And then there is that opposition then to the Sagittarius energy in the 7th house. So you've got Sun, Venus, and Mercury there in Sagittarius in the 7th. And then there's also, there's actually a mutable Grand Cross. So you have Ceres in Virgo in the 4th, and then you have Jupiter and Neptune retrograde in Pisces in the 10th. Right. So this kind of, I would say that this can point toward that sort of back and forth all over the place, difficult to find your bearings, everything's up and down. There's work-related stuff that can feel really like up and down and chaotic, not knowing which way is which. Then also there's all the Gemini energy, looking at how things are so flexible or changeable, having to adapt a lot, having to readjust even when it comes to your direction, when it comes to your energy levels. And then also with the Sagittarius energy, this can look like, there's just a lot going on with respect to business, making deals, agreements, contracts. It just very changeable. I would say just this overarching theme of a very changeable year. Okay. And then when we look to your transits today, so what we notice here is that there is this Virgo energy, which is starting to sort of build in your 2nd house. So you have Mars there right now in Virgo, which is conjunct your moon in Virgo. Then there's the opposition to Saturn. Saturn is currently retrograde in your 8th house. So I would suggest here that it can just feel like you're a bit like zapped energetically, zapped emotionally. Maybe it's just like you're at a point where you're feeling, just the pressure. You're feeling the pressure of the year. You're just feeling a bit burnt out. I would say this is an energy of just feeling overwhelmed, burnt out. And what I further want to mention is, so there is well, there was a fixed grand cross between, there was the south node in Scorpio, the north node in Taurus, there was the Pluto energy in Aquarius retrograde, and then there was the Mars energy in Leo. So again, hitting these angular houses for you. And so this was back like June time. And that could have been a time period where it was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm giving all I've got here. I'm doing all I can here. Like nothing is moving. And yeah, that can suggest then this kind of restrictive energy, delays, having to wait things out with respect to the career side of things, even with respect to the relationship side of things, even thinking about just what you want, right? Your aims, your ambitions, your goals. I mean, you have Mars in Leo natally, right? So you just went through your Mars return, but with that fixed ground cross happening right next to your Mars, oh my goodness, maybe you just felt like you were losing your mind at times, or you just felt like, why is nothing working, or just really frustrated, right? Now, the beneficial or the good news, I suppose, about this is things will start to move, right? Things are going to move. They always move when it comes to astrology. So I think that, okay, firstly, before they move, okay, there is a bit of a reassessment, right? And that reassessment involves Venus retrograde. So that's going to be from the 22nd of July, so from tomorrow until the 3rd of September. It's going to hit off your Mars, it's going to hit off Ceres there as well. It's going to be kind of near around your ascendant in Leo itself. So I think that this is a time period where it's like, right, I have to just rethink. I have to rethink the strategy. I have to rethink my energy levels. I have to rethink my motivations, what drives me, what it is that I want, really looking at your individual wants, your individual desires, and also, how you nurture yourself, how you really do care about your life path, how you radiate, how you step out. And Leo season, right? The sun's going to enter Leo from tomorrow. So Leo season is going to be this like huge, like, I think this sort of revival, even with Venus, the inferior conjunction between Venus and the Sun throughout August, there will be a revival when it comes to your values, a revival when it comes to your appearance, your life path, your direction. So basically, I think Venus retrograde is still going to create some of this kind of like need to, okay, rethink the plan, rethink what needs to be looked at, perhaps with them through a more confident lens, or through a lens of, this is what I'm worth, right? This is the money that I want to earn. These are the skills that I have. These are the talents that I have. And I'm going to find a certain source of income or a position where I'm respected for these things, where these things are seen, they're acknowledged, they're noticed. And then, like I said, things will start to move, okay? So Jupiter, of course, it will go retrograde from like September time, okay? So there will be a bit of a retracing of your steps when it comes to your professional life in terms of, right, what is it that you want to build? What is it that what is it that you want in terms of stability and feeling comfortable and being confident about where you're at, and just, feeling somewhat more just stable and secure, basically, here. Okay, so that retrograde can bring up these types of things. But then even toward like 2024, so all the planets will start to be direct coming into 2024, and that could actually be a really good time where it's like, right, okay, I've done a lot of work, I've put in a lot of effort, I've been able to revisit my talents, revisit my resources, revisit my direction. Now it is time to really reap rewards. Now it is time to see, right, what else can I really achieve here? And of course, the new moon will happen in Leo here on the 16th of August. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's the 16th of August, but that's going to happen on your Mars. Okay, it's going to be 23 degrees. It's going to happen on your Mars. That is a good time for you, Bridget, to really set new intentions to do with your goals and your ambitions, especially through this lens of, what are you worth, right? What is it that you want to make? What is it that you want to do? What will bring you the most enjoyment and fulfillment? Now, at the same time, I just want to say, even with the Saturn return, yes, this Saturn return for you, I mean, even Saturn's there right on your Saturn. This Saturn return for you is bringing up so much to do with your emotional well-being, to do with any unresolved trauma, looking at intimacy, vulnerability, even looking at how you can structure yourself, how you can grow up, so to speak, how you can mature when it comes to shared resources, when it comes to joint financial planning, when it comes to how you manage other people's resources, other people's money, perhaps as well. Um, and then I also want to mention here with Saturn, right? So Saturn is making this trine to Venus and Scorpio. You've got the Scorpio stellium in the fourth house. I mean, the North Node is also there. I mean, this is strongly looking at how much your life path, your direction is tied to those transformations that are created within the world, the realm of family and home, settling down, putting down roots, how you can feel more like safe and secure, not even just in a home family sense, but also secure within yourself. Okay, a lot to do with your own inner emotional security there. And then the last thing that I want to mention, okay, because I know with time and everything, the last thing is looking at your solar return from 2023 until 2024. So this is going to kick in from your birthday. That'll be coming up on the 25th of November. Well, you're going to experience a Leo rising year again. So it's going to be the same, right? The same as what you already have, degrees as well, of course, keep in mind. But Jupiter will be there. It will be retrograde. Jupiter retrograde will be there in Taurus. Moon will be there in Taurus. Uranus retrograde will also be there in Taurus. And then you'll have the stellium in Sagittarius with the Sun, Mars, and Mercury in the fifth house. And I think that this could highlight a year where it's like there's good fortune, there's good luck, there's blessings when it comes to romance, love, when it comes to enjoyment. Maybe this could be where, you know what, you find a particular job where it's like there is such a good work-life balance, or you find a job where you feel like you're not only sort of safe and secure there, okay, with the Taurus energy in the 10th, but you also feel like you have room to play, you have time to play, you have time to enjoy yourself. However, the last thing I want to mention with this in this particular solar return year is Pluto will also be there in the sixth house in Capricorn. So that can actually look at a few power struggles to do with work, to do with health, to do with your services. So that perhaps is something just to watch out for. But that was just a very, very brief way of putting things for you, Bridget. But anyway, that is you. That is your reading, should I say. Whew. Okay, I hope you find that to be helpful, Bridget. I really do. There was a lot of information there, and that's because I'm trying my best to look at timing techniques at the same time so that I can give you the best possible answer that I can in the short time that I can. Okay, lastly, Felicia. So the 4th of September, 1985, 12:14 p.m. Augusta in Maine. KLM. Okay. Let's see. Felicia, I'm so sorry. Are you still with us? And also, I'm just double checking. Do you have a question? Bridget, you said thank you, very accurate to how you feel. You're on your way to be a licensed therapist. Oh my gosh, that's Saturn. Yeah, Saturn energy in Pisces with all the Scorpio going on. Jupiter also in Scorpio. My goodness. Yeah, that Scorpio energy mixed with the Saturn energy in the 8th house. Yeah, that I think that really does relate to therapy there. You haven't been home in years, so it's definitely time to save. To save money, goals to save. Yeah, that the North Node there is really looking at how such things are tied to your life path. Okay, yeah. But yes, thank you so much, Bridget. Felicia, and no questions overall. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. Okay, 4th of September, 1985, Augusta, Maine, 12:14. Okay. Hi, Alexander. How are you? Welcome. We're on to the last reading. This is for Felicia. Okay. All right. So you want just a general overview of your chart. 1985 minus 2020. 19. All right. So we're going to set the timer for you, Felicia. Let's go. Okay, so what is standing out to me straight away here is the Scorpio energy in the first, opposite this Taurus energy in the seventh. Okay, sure, things are not opposite by degree, but there's still this opposition between the first and the seventh. So if we think about the Scorpio rising energy with Saturn there, I think that this can suggest just how much of an introspective person you are. And also, whenever you set your mind on something, achieving something long term, especially, right? Saturn, tied to long term, you are going to be very committed and steady. And even with the moon being in Taurus, right? The moon is exalted in Taurus, there is a steadiness to you, okay? And this is also at the same time about you following a life direction, a life path that is about establishing greater security. In fact, you have just went through your nodal, your second nodal return, I would say. 18, yeah, your second nodal return, Felicia, because the nodes were in Taurus and Scorpio from January 2022 up until July 2023. And then there were eclipses happening in these signs. So I think that these nodes and these eclipses have been activating just how much your relationships have changed. I think that this has been an 18-month period, a 2-year period of real renewal with respect to your purpose, your aims, your ambitions, the things that you wish to achieve, but then also looking at how you can establish then better security, and looking at how it is that you cater to your emotions, how it is that you feel, thinking about the type of support that you receive within your relationships. Now, at the same time, Black Moon Lilith is there and it's right on your north node. So there are very sensitive, very powerful themes here to do with security and safety, and even looking at how it is that you feel calm, and how it is that you feel supported by others, how it is that you support others. So that Black Moon Lilith energy, it can perhaps suggest that you've had to, in a way, liberate yourself from a particular relationship situation so that you can put your own needs first. Or this can look at you having to see that what is familiar, what is comforting, what is secure can actually be such a big part of your journey. Something to recognize, something to integrate, something to enjoy, and maybe this is suggesting here that Felicia, that relationships have been very you know daunting, somewhat scary or difficult to address, difficult to manage. And the north node is kind of perhaps saying that when things are too calm or too settled, this is actually when you're anxieties can rise. It's like, I'm not used to this. Like, I'm not used to things being somewhat protected or safe. And when we think about the opposition then to the Scorpio energy, this may suggest that what you were really used to, especially when you were younger, was just turbulence. Like turbulence, things changing in such huge ways, many secrets, power plays, power struggles, emotional manipulation, like having to read people. And yes, this can also be part of your sort of superpower, so to speak, in that you are someone who is very investigative. You read between the lines, like you've seen it. You've seen the depths of people. You've seen the depths of people's psyches. You can see into people's dark side, and there's no getting past you in this way. There's no fooling you, okay? But I think the Taurus energy has been really addressing the importance of lean into this. But this is also about being able to use discernment, and also about recognizing who is trying to diminish anyone who's tried to sort of criticize or diminish you or push you out, and maybe throughout your life you've kind of come to a point of really this is about you, right, establishing yourself, and having the strength, actually having the strength to be able to move away from anything unhealthy, to move away from anything possibly even like toxic, right? So yeah, and also there is that Leo energy, right? So there is this sort of T square by sign, even like a fixed grand cross by sign, and Jupiter is even in Aquarius. Now, let's even just address Jupiter for one moment before we look at the Leo energy. But that Jupiter energy, I think, it actually looks at freedom. It looks at how that the home space, the living space is a place for you to let go. It's a place for you to explore. It's a place for you to be as quirky and as original as possible, to invent, to be creative, to let loose. There's just this kind of like free spirited energy when it comes to Aquarius, right? So Jupiter there in Aquarius, it can suggest these qualities, experiencing free spirited qualities within the home, independence within the home, striving then to get to this point as well, and feeling happy in this way. And then with the Leo energy, keep in mind that Mars is one of your chart rulers. That's in Leo. And then also opposite, right? Venus is the ruler of the seventh house. That's also in Leo. Of course, the Venus retrograde is going to happen in Leo here. So, and then also you just experienced your Mars return. So I just think that this is highlighting just how much you're going to feel somewhat like dignified or respected, or you're going to feel good about yourself whenever you're able to really focus on a profession, a life path, a sense of purpose that is like super rewarding, something that clearly showcases your leadership, something that clearly showcases how how you can manage other people, how you even can put yourself in the center, you can put yourself in the spotlight. And then also coming across as just this very like authoritative, and I mean this in a good way, in terms of being that authority, but being an authority who is respectful, being an authority who can see other people. You can even shine the spotlight on others, and working for that success as well. And recognizing even just how dedicated of a person you are, and how much of a leader that you are. Um so yeah, I think that there is a big part of this where it's like you putting your individuality into the picture, or seeing that your individuality is even valued and that it's recognized a lot of the times, that even the ways in which you share information, the ways in which you teach, that can be so impactful and influential in other people's lives. Even Mercury's there, you're going through your Mercury return, it's right there with Mars, both are 26 degrees. Honestly, Felicia, I think that Felicia, I think that when it comes to your professional life, you speak. Like, you're going to be direct. You're going to be direct about, right, this needs done, right? Or this is what I am going to do. And I am being serious right now. There's so much confidence that just oozes out of you, and it shows so clearly within your profession. It shows up so clearly amongst the public. And then even you're a Virgo, right? So your sun is in Virgo, your MC is in Virgo. There's a conjunction as well to the sun. So I think that there is also this part of you that can be very specific about communities and teams, and then also looking at what can be improved. You notice the details, right? And you're also a very like practical, very analytical, very hands-on person. I mean, your sun is in Virgo, and then also your moon is in Taurus. These earth signs just highlighting to me, suggesting to me that you're someone who is going to consider what you need in terms of resources, or you're going to consider, what tools you need to use, or what skills need to be shown, or what skills need to be improved. Again, going back to the community side of things, organizations you're part of, groups that you're part of, clubs that you're part of, you're going to be that person in the group, in the club, that's like, let me help. Let me put my hands to good use, okay? That's going to actually provide me with a good deal of like purpose. And I'm going to feel good about myself when I am helping, when I am serving. Whew, Felicia, that was your reading. I hope you find it to be helpful. And that is us. Yes, this is us. Can you pay with their local currency? Really? Is dollars not available? Do you know, when it comes to paying in different currencies, just just check and see, right? How much is such and such in your currency to $25, and then just pay in your own currency. That's fine. That's okay. We can we can just do that. I didn't know that you couldn't change it. I thought you could, but if you're having difficulties, just yeah, we can try that, or I can even look into it a bit further. But for now, everyone, that is us. I've gotten through all of the readings. I just want to say here, thank you all so much for being here today. You know what? I really enjoyed going through these readings with you. I hope that you find them to be helpful. I hope I was able to touch on some interesting information for you all. I hope I was able to ground the information. I think that that's really important when it comes to astrology. It's like making things practical, being able to ground it in a way where you relate to it, you feel seen, you feel like you're even valued, okay? But yes, that is us. And as I say, I will be back next Friday. Felicia, you said, thank you so much. You are right with the moon, Lilith, North Node conjunction has been very difficult your entire life. I am sure that conjunction sounds challenging, okay? Right there on your North Node, yeah, it sounds challenging. But that is me. That is me, everyone. And we're fully booked. We're fully booked. But that's the end. So we've done, how many readings have we done today? One. You're very direct and working toward leadership positions. Woohoo! Awesome. I hope you all the best. Wish you all the best with your positions. Get it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8. I said I was going to do 8 today. I'm pretty sure I said 8. And you know what? If I do remember that bit of information from earlier, I will probably type it somewhere, and then I'll probably kick myself. Why did I forget that? Anyway, that is me, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will actually be back to talk about the full moon in Aquarius. I'm going to be back on Sunday. We'll also be talking about your August, so your August horoscopes. That will be out next week. Hoping that will be out next week. And then next Friday, we'll be back for more readings. Thank you all so much. And if you're interested in booking a reading with me, a full reading, looking at a full chart reading, looking at even a longer reading where it's more detail, etc., you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. I also offer live consultations, so we can actually chat on a live session, and we can walk through things. We can talk about your chart, I want to support you in any way that I can, help you understand your chart, and even looking at certain upcoming transits and changes for you. But that is me, and I wish you all the very best. Have a lovely weekend, and I'm sure I will see you on Sunday. Hopefully, I'll see you on Sunday. Definitely make sure you give this video a like if you did enjoy it today. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will talk to you all very, very soon.